No idea. A strange smell. Welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. My name is Lüning, Horst Lüning, and I'm the master taster of Whisky.com. And today we have a strange whiskey here in my cask. It's called Monster's Choice. And which monster? Well, it's a Scotch. This is Nessie, with a typical Scottish hat, an old castle ruin in the back, and he has a dram in his hand. And this is from a tumbler. Well, this is a whiskey for the masses and probably not that much for the connoisseur. Rare old Scotch whiskey. How old is a whiskey without an age statement on it? 3 years and a day. Perhaps this one is older. Why? Do you remember this screw cap? This metal screw cap? Have you seen that before? And this standard liquor bottle with this small notch? If I turn it around, probably you know this back label. Yes, this is from Gordon MacPhail, one of the biggest independent bottlers in Scotland. Well, the famous, at least. I think I took a video already of independent bottlers. Here it is. Why do they have such a bottle? One can guess. Perhaps there is always a residual from the bottling of these independent series. 10 liters here, 5 liters there, half a cask here, and so on. And this may be dumped into the mixture, added with neutral or with grain whiskey, industry whiskey, and this will be a blended whiskey. This is a guess, I don't know. Perhaps they say, well, we have those connections to the distilleries and we're able to source cheap casks and bring out a cheap blended whiskey for the masses. And, well, Nessie, the monster from Loch Ness, sells always good. Have an artist, have a painting, and hopefully we will sell a lot. No idea, just a guess. Nessie's favorite dram. Interesting is the address and the corporation name here in the label. Strathnairn Whisky Limited, Inverness, Scotland. Gordon MacPhail is situated in Elgin. 1.5 hours drive from Inverness, or 2 hours. So why do they use a different name? I do not like those metal caps because the sealing in here is quite thin, and after some time this sealing weakens, whiskey evaporates, and you have to refix the top. And be careful not to overturn the cap. And in former times, also the very old whiskies from the 50s and 60s were delivered by Gordon MacPhail with these metal caps. So it's quite difficult to store those old bottles with the metal cap without losing filling, and so there are bottles, old bottles with the screw cap, which are only half neck filled or 3/4 of a neck filled, so they lost a lot already. And if you have an auction of old whiskey, then it's always said, with a good auctioneer, how full the bottle really is, half neck, quarter neck. And this also makes a difference in selling price or in asking price. No idea. A strange smell. Definitely whiskey, not much alcohol, so There's more aroma in this than in a lot of other blends. How much blend or how much malt whiskey is in those blends? The very cheap ones have 10%, 15%. If the blended whiskey is, well, higher priced, then you typically have 50, 80, 85%. Then the grain whiskey is only added for smoothing the whiskey. Can't tell you what that smell is. No toffee, no caramel, but whiskey. That's the whiskey nose. Yeah. I waited for this bitterness coming up. I always say I do not like grain, I do not like blends because of this sharp bitterness in those blends. And in former times I said, well, this must be the grain whiskey. But today I say no, it's not the grain. It's the old 10 times used casks in the grain whiskey industry, where you store a whiskey for 3 years and a day, dump it, next filling, up to 9 or 10 times, and in the end only the bitterness of the cask wall of the oak moves into the whiskey, and therefore I think I feel the bitterness in those grain whiskies. But here, no bitterness, a little bit of toffee, pleasant, a little sweet, and the aftertaste already nearly gone, so it's probably medium, probably less. Yeah, might be there are those plants where the residue of the malting, no, the mashing process is reduced from the water, so it's a lot of damp going up into the atmosphere. In Rothes you can have that smell for the joint cooperative, for the animal feed plant. There you can smell this. So it's a little maltiness, green malt, cereals, but I miss all those deep, excellent whiskey flavors. It's a cheap one, slightly above 20. Don't know where it is available worldwide. No idea. Probably in Inverness and Elgin. Yeah, thank you for watching. Stay tuned, there's more to come. And feel free to share your thoughts in our whiskey database and share this video with your friends.